Good evening, and bienvenue, my fond, fair friends, family, and subscribers. This is your humble narrator, Diomedes Rouge, here to bring you, yet another part to the Asta. What if Asta was the reincarnation of Guts? Now, apologies. I want to be clear for this one. So, where we last left off, our good friend Asta had just recovered from using or rather to say, has just recovered his control from using the berserk armor in this world. Noel, Luck, basically take him out of there as fast as they can. And his team, they get out of there as well. Also worried about his childhood friend, his rival, his compatriot. Now, don't you worry, Asta will be fine. But we're going to take a minor pause in that, because I believe I have neglected something from the series. The villain's perspective. Or rather, I should say, the other side. Because in Black Clover, the lines between good and evil, they blur quite a bit if you pay attention. But I'm not here to discuss anime. I'm here to discuss plot. My plot. And so I'll continue. We're going to take a minor detour and go over to where the man who escaped Asta's little berserk moment from the village. After he escaped, he went to his boss and told him about the short white-haired man with a metal arm and a large sword that could seemingly cut through magic as if it was nothing. The man was intrigued upon hearing this, saying, was it fate that brought him here? No matter. It will be done soon enough. Make plans for his capture and the capture of that grimoire. I have plans for it, he tells his servants, as he dismisses them. They begin to whisper in quiet. What could he mean he has plans for them? No clue. The master does as he wishes, as he always has. True. But he's always going to look out for us. Indeed. He always has and he always will. He'll bring forth the true plan. Now, again, pardon that minor interruption. We'll now cut back to what y'all really came here for. Asta. Now, Asta is laying on a bed and being tended to by medical staff, while Yami, Noel, Luck, and even and Magna are all gathered around there as well, taking shifts on watching over him as he rests and recuperates. The doctors tell him that his arm was severely broken and that it was a miracle that it stayed intact as long as it did. Tells him it was no miracle. That armor made it usable. What? His magic. That armor he donned, it kept moving him. Even when he didn't want to, it moved him. It's a terrifying thought. Someone with his strength and power being unable to resist something like that? Not to mention the way he fought. It was like watching some sort of beast. Every time I take one step closer to getting by him, he jumps ahead 5 feet. Looks like this time he stumbled a bit. You crazy bastard. Meanwhile, inside of Asta's, I guess you would call it, dream? Nightmare? Spirits? The world may never know. But deep inside this, whatever you call it, he sees 2 beings. One, the wolf, the black hound, the demon dog, growling and snarling at, well, the red-eyed, large-horned demon. The demon shouts, "How are you still alive? I killed you." The dog just growls, and in a guttural tone says, "I am rage, I am hatred, I am hunger. To kill me is to kill an idea, to kill life itself. Just because you absorbed a portion of my prowess, don't think you ended me. You're more troublesome than you're worth." As they begin to clash, the demon hound biting into the red-eyed horned demon as he flings him aside. Guts watching, or rather I should say, Asta watching this, viewing it. And then he says enough. Huh? What? As they both turn their heads to see Asta standing there. What the hell? How are you here? It doesn't matter. You, as he points to the dog. I conquered you once. I'll do it again. You're nothing more than a bastard. A bastard I need. And you, as he points towards the demon, I'm assuming you're the one in the grimoire. You assume correct. Asta. That's one of my names, yes. Before I came here, I went by another. You can call me Guts. Very well, Guts. Now tell me, Why shouldn't I? Now tell me. What makes you think you can stop me? Help me. Join forces with me, and we'll put this dog to bed. And then we'll destroy every demon in sight. What do you say, Guts? As the dog looks towards him and just begins to laugh. You really can't be buying that, can you? Look at him. He's nothing but bone. All he is a distraction. Come, Guts. We can reign together like old times. Think about it. Nothing will get in our way. These people, they're weak. They rely on their magics, not knowing the sheer power that comes from enhancing your body. Help me remove this thing from my side, and I will gladly surrender myself to you, Master. As Guts looks at this thing, in his head he thinks, this dog has never called me that. It's always been a wild animal that I've been forced to embrace, that I've been forced to deal with and tolerate. And he looks towards the new demon. Obviously, he's a lying bastard who just wants to use my body to destroy those that get in his way. The dog lowers his head down, waiting for the touch. The demon extends its hand, waiting for the shake. Asta moves forward, grabs the dog by the scruff of its neck, and then grabs the demon by his neck, by his throat, and slams them both down in his mindscape, you could say. Both of you listen to me. This is my goddamn body, and you're just living in it. You're parasites in my domain. Nothing good comes from keeping you two fighting like this. Nothing good will ever happen as long as both of you keep arguing. So you two are gonna shut the hell up now. Huh? And you're going to listen to my deal. Oh, you think you're in a position to make a deal, boy? As the demon points its claw at his chest. If I die, you die. If I die, you don't have a power. You have no one to use your power. And if I die, he dies. As he looks towards the wolf. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm the one holding all the cards here. As he lets them both up. You're going to tell me everything. Everything you know of this place, this world, you and your power. You're going to tell me it all. You, as he points towards the wolf. The wolf or hellhound. I personally prefer just calling him the black wolf because he looks like a big black wolf and he's just so adorable. Yes, I know he's demonic. He's got the red eyes and the glowing and the dark teeth and he's made of shadows, but he looks adorable. I want to pet it. I'm sorry, I'm weird. Anyways, back to this. You are not going to ever make me lose control like that again. If you try, I will break everything in my body and cripple myself to keep you from ever being used. Got me? It sits down and ponders. You truly are an irritating host. Do you know that, Guts? Tell me, what made you think of this now than back then? Back then I needed you. Back then you were useful, a necessary evil to keep around. Back then there was no one else who could do what I do. No one I could rely on except for those closest to me, and even then, if I didn't take my eyes off of them for a mere moment, they could die. But now, these people I know can handle things even if I go down. So there's no reason for me to be selfish and try and burden everything on myself. Now, you're free game. If you lapse in judgment just once, if you ever let your rage take over again, I'll maul that soul of yours to pieces and devour what's left. The hound laughs and states, if you think you can, give it a try, but just know I'll kick your ass. As the dark wolf just sits down and, well, disappears inside of Guts. He then turns and looks dead at the horned demon. Now you're going to tell me everything, and I mean everything, from what you are to what you're capable of, to every single detail about this world that you know about. I don't care how long it takes. And what if I refuse? Same thing. First verse is same as the first verse. The second verse is same as the first. As the priest used to say. Basically, if you don't, well, I don't have to use you. Hell, I could sell you. A 5-leafed grimoire? It would fetch quite a profit, don't you think? You wouldn't dare. Try me, bitch. Funny. Very well, little man. Let's see what you got. As hours, days, even weeks go by in this mindscape. In reality, it hasn't been that long at all, but in the mindscape, yes, time is a strange thing. Why? Because the author demands it so he can make sure that a lot of things are spread evenly and nothing is rushed. Why? Because it's a good plot convenience, damn it. I am sorry, but come on. It's like the hyperbolic time chamber except for exposition. Sorry, back to the show. I apologize. Now, after hearing the whole explanation, he comes up with a deal for the demon. Pardon me. Sorry about that. Now, you're going to let me use your power, and I'll destroy the things that you hate, the demons, whatever. And in exchange, you help me protect the ones I care about. You don't want to use me to become the Magic King. No, I don't care about being the Wizard King. Not in all honesty. I care about my family, my friends. There's what matters most to me. Some crummy title? Please. Sure, it has a few perks. But why would I bother with it when someone else better suited will probably rise up? Besides, if I do my job good enough, I'll become it without realizing it. Or become it without even needing to worry about trying to. Oh, and why do you say that? Simple. 'Cause you said your friends are your old friends are on the move, right? Yes. Well then, more than likely they're the people who've been attacking. Fair assumption to make if you can back it up. It's a hunch. Trust me, if you've bothered looking into my memories, which I'm sure you have, you can tell my hunches are usually right. Yes, well. Very well, Guts. Let's see how your gambit plays out, shall we? As he's released from his mindscape. And after a day or so of being unconscious, he's awakes. He sees his friends gathered round, as, well, back with the Golden Dawn. And everything seems nice and hunky-dory. They're all laughing, gathering around, chuckling even. Then Yami asks, what the hell happened? Asta immediately says, I'm sorry. I lost control of myself with my new spell. But I thought it was the only way to win. But it was untested and I lost control over it. I apologize for putting the team in danger, sir. Yami just pats him on the shoulder. They would have been in a lot more danger if you wouldn't have tried anything. Sometimes, on the battlefield, a quickly made decision is often better than a well thought of and perfect one. Oh, why is that? He asks, somewhat sarcastically. Simple. Takes time to think of a perfect plan. By the time you think of it, you'll be dead. And Yami pats him on the back and lets him move on. Now get ready. You're about to be heading to the capital in a few hours. Huh? Well, they wanted to show up everybody, so guess what? There's a party, and the Black Bulls are invited. You've got to be kidding me. Nope. And why wasn't I informed? You were unconscious. Oh, right. And you just were. So, pretty up, Buttercup. Pretty up? Don't ask me. It's one of those weird new sayings that comes in from out of town. Weird. Yes, very. Now, get dressed and cleaned. Fine. Didn't figure the Black Bulls would be over enthusiastic about parties. Not usually, no, but when every single night organization is there, Fair point. As he goes and gets dressed. Unfortunately, due to how quick it has to be, he's a bit rushed on his preparations, meaning he does not run into the, well, and Mimosa down on the streets. They are pretty much teleported straight to, well, the main castle where they will be holding their banquet. Upon getting there, well, Noelle is feeling a bit awkward. She's around her old family. Yes. She can see them kind of chuckling at her from in the background. Asta walks up beside her and, well, pours her some water. Here, drink this. Huh? Noelle, stunned, just wondering, what? You seem a bit distracted. Don't let people get to you. Remember, if you need any help, I'm here. Right. And she kind of looks down. And, well, Guts, or Asta, with Guts' spirit, I should say, proceeds to start eating the food. Now, he doesn't scarf it down like Asta would. Guts is Guts, and Guts is paranoid. He eats at a decent pace, allowing him to keep a good eye on the field in front of him. He's faster than anyone else, but he's not wolfing it down, creating a scene. He's precise, you could say. And that's when Noelle's siblings begin to wander near Noelle. But of course. And one of them decides to pour a drink over her head. Oh, if only the author of this, the humble narrator himself, could appear before them and tell them how badly they have done goofed. But unfortunately, the narrator's a prick, and he will not do so because he finds what's about to happen to be very, very humorous. So, he pours the beverage on top of her head, and it streams over. Noelle getting very, very upset, very flustered, and, well, somewhat hurt. They call her a failure, and how she doesn't deserve to be a part of any Magic Knight rank. But it suits her that she's a part of the Black Bulls, the failures. She turns around and begins to run away whenever she feels a warm touch. As she turns around and sees the right hand of Guts, or Asta in this case, gripping hold of her arm. Sorry, I'm terrible with names. Grabbing hold of her arm as he reaches down lower and grabs her hand and pulls her into him. He takes a rag and dries her face, and he says, I'm sorry. I should have been here sooner. Don't worry. As he turns around and walks 3 steps towards the young nobles. They chuckle and giggle and laugh as this 6-foot young man walks over to them and bends down to their eye level. You worms have no idea what she is capable of. Huh, what did you say? As all of a sudden a loud thump can be heard of a large slap across both of their faces. Luckily for them, it was the human hand that did so. Do you idiots have any idea what each Black Bull member is capable of? As he turns around, his hands spread far above his head, looking at all of his teammates. He points towards every one of them, and then he circles back, leading his finger back to Noel. Each one of the Black Bulls may be eccentric. We may be asinine. We may not be of noble birth, and we may be what you would call petty. But we're better than any one of you. We're better than any one of you by a long shot. Because unlike you, we don't judge people based on their rank in society. We judge them based on their actual strength. You're nothing more than maggots crawling on the ground. And if you dare to say that you're not, well then please step forward and let me judge it for myself. Prove to me that you're no maggot. Prove to me that you're not an ant that I have to worry about crushing beneath my feet while I'm on the battlefield. Because all you are to me is an insignificant little insect that doesn't know how to act towards a lady. As he gets right into his face. The young noble's had enough, and he lashes outward with some magic. Or rather, he attempts to. He tries to bring up his hand, and well, Guts grabs it with his metal one. He then picks him up and throws him to the nearest wall. And that's whenever the other young girl decides to try and use her magic on him. He simply just slaps her. And then slaps her again. And again. And again. And again. And again. Until her cheeks are puffed up red and she has tears on her face. As he just says, nothing more than a worm. An insignificant worm. As she begins to tear up and cry, kneeling down. That's whenever he notices a large spit of sand beginning to form around him and imprison him in a golem-like fist, trying to squeeze the life out of him, but it doesn't work. Noel begins to worry. Magna begins to get upset. But Guts. Oh, you think this is a game, do you? Fine. Let me show you how games are really played. As he suddenly disappears and then reappears in front of the Sand Mage, donned in his berserk armor, wielding his Demon Slayer greatsword, and holding it at the base of his throat. Oh, what's the matter? You seem nervous. Noble. Are you scared? Are you scared? Huh? Of a filthy commoner like you? Never. Good. Gut states, as he puts away his sword. Because you are not my enemy. Not today. And hopefully for your sake, not ever. As he turns around and walks over towards Noel. Asta, is that you? Are you? Relax. What happened back then will never happen again. I'm in control. As Magna just looks and says, "Holy crap, man, that looks awesome!" And Luck goes, "Okay, now we have to have a fight. Come on. I am not accepting no as an answer. Me and you have to fight. You can't say no to this." He's like, "Come on, man, you look badass, and you're in control of it this time. Hell yes! Let me fight you!" It's like, "Calm down, Luck. Maybe later, not at the party." It's like, "Bullshit, you just got through fighting them. That wasn't so much of a fight as much of a talking down to." Sometimes these asinine twats need to be taught their lesson. Fine. But you owe me a fight. You owe me a fight. As all of a sudden, a loud boom can be heard. A loud explosions. Several, in fact. Oh yes, I'm doing this. This is going to be quite fun. But that fun will be saved for a later date. This was a minor exposition and catch-up video to allow you all to, well, get accustomed to it. I also made this a bit shorter than my standard ones, and I wish to ask, how do you all like it? I don't mind making them shorter if you all want them that way, but I do like the longer ones. They appeal to me. But if you guys like shorter videos, let me know. I can try a few and make them shorter if y'all want. Maybe even make longer ones if you wish. Oh, I do that way too well, don't I? Switch from one voice to another, and then another, and next thing you know, I'm talking like a leprechaun. Anyways, I hope you all have a blessed evening, blessed night, and a very blessed morning if that's wherever you're seeing this thing, and a blessed afternoon if you wind up popping up at that point in time. This has been your humble narrator, Diomedes Rouge, popping off for now.